chickweed. And I found some very good specimens of chickweed. Now, chickweed looks very, very similar to radium. Yep, you probably can hardly see the difference there. So there is a way to tell the difference. And with the chickweed, it'll have one little rootstock, and the plant can spread right out about this big. In fact, if I've got chickweed in my garden, I know all I have to do is go underneath, find the root, and I've got all of that away. It'll spread out. Now, the identifying factor with chickweed, and you can come up in the break. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but when you break the chickweed stem, there's a thread in there. So that's held together because there's a little thread inside the stem. So that's the identifying factor with chickweed. And chickweed is a delightful herb. Feel free to come up and have a chew of the leaf. It is not bitter at all, so it's very, very nice in your salads. My first husband was a drug addict and an alcoholic, and I had 6 children in the rainforest, no electricity. Sometimes times were a bit tough and there was not a lot of money around. In fact, when times were tough, we ate lentils and chickweed and we did very well. So the chickweed can be thrown in your soups and your stews, and all the minerals will go in there. But you can see how the leaf is not as dark as the stinging nettle. It still has some iron, it still has some minerals, but it has quite a shallow root. I don't think I picked any root there. But medicinally, the chickweed is an anti-itch herb. And I know when my children had contact with chickenpox or measles, you know, the next few days we're weeding in the garden, and my daughter Emma would say, "Leave the chickweed, Mum, we're going to need that." And for measles, chickenpox, you know, itchy things, you can pour boiling water on it, and the tea, when it cools, you can put into ice trays. So you've got chickweed tea ice cubes. And when someone has an itch, they get that out, and you know what ice will do to itch? So if ever you've got an itch, don't scratch it, because when you scratch an itch, it brings relief, but then what does it do? It's even worse. And if the scratching continues, the skin can break, and if the skin breaks, then an infection can come. Whenever you feel itch, grab an ice cube and just hit it. Now, the beauty of making chickweed tea ice cubes, you've got a double effect of not only the ice to kill the itch, but you've also got the herb. If someone has chickenpox, measles, you can make a bath and throw a heap of chickweed in the bath. And they can bathe in the chickweed bath. Would you use it for a psoriasis? You certainly can. You certainly can. Now, psoriasis has a yeast aspect too, the rash on the skin. So you could warm up coconut oil in a double saucepan, and you could put the chickweed in it. And you do that for probably about half an hour till the chickweed goes all limp and dark like it's cooked, and then you just pick the chickweed out. Now you've got chickweed ointment. And the coconut oil has an antifungal property, anti-yeast property, so that's an excellent ointment for things like eczema and psoriasis. You've got your anti-itch of the chickweed, and you've also got the antifungal property of the coconut oil. Can you see that? That will actually stay there. If I pull that hard, I can break that little inside thread. But that little thread in the middle is your identifying factor. So that's the main thing with chickweed. It can be eaten. It's got nice array of minerals in it, and it's anti-itch. Now, I have to tell you too that my children were exposed to chickenpox, measles 5 times, and they never got it. We'd get all the chickweed ready, and they would never get it. And I was talking to a naturopath one day. I said, "It's really funny, my children keep getting exposed. Everyone gets it, my children don't." He said, "I know why." He said, "Your children are running barefoot through the hills. They're eating all the food out of the garden, which is incredibly high in minerals and nutrients." He said, "Their bodies are functioning so well, it's not taking them down." He said, "I wouldn't be surprised if your children did get it, but it was so mild that they didn't even know they had it." Isn't that interesting?